fallen way behind on my reading this year, but for very good reason. Be looking for my Kickstarter video. I believe that I am going live on April 2nd. So mark that on your calendar so that you can get excited and go give me monies. Boundaries by Dr. Cloud and Dr. Townsend. Let me crack this book open, you guys. Boundaries not only protect you from people who take advantage of you or manipulative or controlling behaviors from other people, but they also, it gives you ownership of yourself. Boundaries are not walls. So when you think of boundaries, a lot of people might think, oh, well, it's like putting a wall up, but it's not. Like he says, for example, people who are abused, they reverse the function of boundaries and keep the bad in and the good out. So boundaries are really supposed to keep the good in and keep the bad out. But for people like me who were abused growing up, my boundaries have been all kinds of cray. They were not maintained, and they were very uncomfortable in general. For me, this book was a revelation. Okay, I know that for some people, they're just like, oh yeah, and that's how they do life. That's awesome. I'm just so much more aware. It's very obvious once you know what to look for. I've done a lot of like book vlogs, but it's very rare for me to be like, everyone needs to read this book. But this is a book literally everyone in this world needs to read. Everybody needs to read this book. I want to read a lot of this book to you guys, but I can't because it's very thick. They do such a good job of relating this message to everyone. Like no matter what your problem is. I mean, it even breaks it down. There are boundaries with family, boundaries with children, which was a huge one. This is very good. The book is amazing. Okay. I can't rave about it enough. Like when I first started reading this, I couldn't put it down. Needless to say, this book has really impressed me. These are Christian therapists, and so they take the Christian perspective from this. One thing that people have problems with the boundaries, I think, is feeling kind of bad about it. Feeling like, oh, well, that's not a Christian way to be or something. It's okay to say no, to have the permission, I guess, to disagree and to still be loved. Like, especially with my dad, I know there were a couple of instances that I can remember where I confronted my dad about his behavior and stuff and how negative it was. And it was very scary for me because he was an alcoholic, and it was very dangerous. It was a very scary thing to do for basically a teenager, to feel like, oh, do I even have the right to do this? But we do have the right to point out sin. And I didn't even know that at the time. And it really did cause a rift in our relationship, but we didn't really have a good relationship anyway. That's hope, you know, even growing up abused and in a very chaotic, very negative atmosphere, I still had some sense of boundaries and knowing that I deserved to enforce them and have them in my life to protect me. It's good for me to have picked this book up and to see all these random people and their problems, and it's so relatable. You need to read it. I would give this 5 very enthusiastic stars and thumbs up. I love it, and I will recommend it literally to everyone. Boundaries by Dr. Cloud and Dr. Townsend. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys next time. Okay, bye guys.